It was a bright spring afternoon, but for young Lily, the world had turned to darkness. The 8-year-old girl was bundled up in the backseat of a car, her heart racing with fear. The world outside the window was a blur, as the car sped down a deserted road. She didn't know where she was going or what would happen next. All she knew was that she had to be strong. The man driving the car had taken her from her home just hours ago. He had been silent, only occasionally glancing at her in the rearview mirror with cold, unfeeling eyes. She had tried to scream for help when he first grabbed her, but the moment she did, he clamped his hand over her mouth, his grip so tight she couldn't breathe. Then came the silence, the loneliness, and the feeling that she might never see her parents again. But there was one thing that gave her hope: her dog, Max. Max wasn't just any dog. He was a police dog, trained to track down criminals and find missing people. And he loved Lily with all his heart. He had been her constant companion since she was a baby, and she knew he would never stop looking for her. As the car came to a stop in a remote area, Lily's mind raced. She was sure this was the place where they were going to leave her. The man parked the car in an abandoned warehouse. He got out, leaving Lily alone, tied up in the backseat. She struggled against the ropes that bound her, trying to break free. Her heart pounded in her chest, but she didn't give up. Suddenly, she remembered something. The one thing that could help her: Max. The sound of the car door slamming shut jolted her into action. She pressed her hand to the window, tapping gently to get the attention of the police dog that was patrolling the area with his handler, Officer Williams. Max's keen ears perked up. He sniffed the air and then looked toward the window. Lily's face lit up with relief. She knew that Max would understand her signal. She had trained him in secret, making sure he knew how to respond to her calls, even in the most dire situations. The officer noticed Max's reaction and followed his gaze. It was a silent moment, but in that moment, Officer Williams understood. He and Max had worked together for years, and the bond they shared was unspoken, built on trust and mutual respect. Without hesitation, Officer Williams issued a command to Max, and the police dog darted toward the warehouse, his nose leading the way. Inside the warehouse, the kidnapper had been busy securing his hold on the girl. But the moment he saw the dog approaching, panic set in. He grabbed Lily, pulling her away from the window, but it was too late. Max was already in the building, sniffing the air, his instincts guiding him to Lily's exact location. Officer Williams burst through the door, his gun drawn, but his eyes were not on the criminal. They were focused on the little girl, tied up and scared, but still trying to fight for her freedom. "Lily," Officer Williams called, his voice full of relief. The kidnapper, now realizing his escape was impossible, tried to make a run for it. But Max was quicker. The dog lunged, catching the man by the leg, pulling him to the ground with a force that left him gasping for breath. Lily's heart raced as she watched Max, the dog she trusted with her life, subdue the man who had taken her. In that moment, she realized just how far kindness, loyalty, and love could go. She had felt so alone, but she was not. Not anymore. Officer Williams rushed over to cut the ropes that bound her. As soon as the knots were undone, Lily threw herself into his arms, her tears flowing freely. "Thank you," she whispered, barely able to speak through her sobs. Max stood by her side, his tail wagging, as if to say, "I'm here for you." The police officer smiled warmly at Lily, a reassuring presence amidst the chaos. "You're safe now, Lily. You did great," he said, patting her head gently. But what amazed everyone was what happened next. Lily turned to Max and knelt down, giving him the biggest hug she could manage. "Thank you, Max," she said through her tears. "You saved me." Max nudged her face with his nose, his eyes full of understanding and affection. There were no words needed. The bond they shared spoke louder than anything else. As Lily was safely escorted out of the warehouse and reunited with her parents, the crowd of police officers and bystanders couldn't help but be moved by what had just unfolded. They had witnessed not just a daring rescue, but the power of a little girl's trust in her dog, the bravery of a police officer, and the unbreakable bond between a girl and her loyal companion. In the days that followed, Lily's story made headlines across the nation, not because of the dramatic rescue itself, but because of the message it carried. The power of kindness, courage, and loyalty is limitless. Lily had not only survived a terrifying ordeal, she had shown the world that even in the darkest times, hope could still shine through. She had trusted in Max, and Max had trusted in her. Together, they had shown everyone that no matter how small or helpless you may feel, a single act of courage, or a single act of kindness, can change everything. Moral of the story: in the face of fear and uncertainty, it is our relationships, our bonds with others, whether human or animal, that can provide the strength and courage needed to overcome even the greatest challenges. The simple act of trust and compassion has the power to create ripples of hope and inspire others to act with kindness and bravery.